All right. What's up, everybody? All my people in Manhattan, the Bronx, Queens, all the way up to Staten Island, my home borough, Brooklyn. Back at another video, and this is going to be another entry to the Greatest of All Time series. And the third time doing it on an athlete. The first one was Magic Johnson. The last one I did was Joe Montana. This one's going to be on Tom Brady. Okay? Okay, now look, this is hard for me to do. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with this because, I'm a native New Yorker, born and raised, obviously. A little bit Giants fan, so I remember those two Super Bowl 42, Super Bowl 46. We royally whooped Tom Brady's ass. enjoyable moments. I hate everything Boston and Philadelphia sports related, but I'm being objective and being honest here. Okay, I'm not a little kid rooting for the Giants anymore. And being objective and honest. Tom Brady is, and like I said, I was born in the early 2000s, so Tom Brady is to me the greatest football player I've ever seen. Him, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Aaron Rodgers, Peyton, those are the best football players I've ever seen. And I'll throw Gronk in there as well. Okay, obviously I didn't see Lawrence Taylor, Jerry Rice, Emmitt Smith, or Barry Sanders. I know my NFL history. But in terms of players I've seen live, those guys are my top 5, top 6, whatever. And Brady's at number 1. Okay, he's won the most. He's come up big the most. He's been the most consistent. He puts up great numbers. Maybe not as great as Peyton Manning or Aaron Rodgers, but he's put up great numbers. Okay, and he's won more than those guys, obviously. But let's get into this. Tom Brady, of course, was picked 6th overall. Spurs picked in the 6th round, 199th overall in the 2000 NFL Draft. Didn't start that season. 2001, Drew Bledsoe gets hurt on a hit from Jets linebacker Mo Lewis. Brady starts that game. I believe the Jets still lost, or the Patriots still lost that game. He makes his first start against Peyton Manning and the Colts. They win that game, talking about the Patriots. They go on 11-5 run. Of course, the controversial tuck rule game that they won. The Stone against Adam Vinatieri. They beat the Steelers in the 0-1 championship game, and they upset the St. Louis Rams in the Super Bowl with Hall of Famer and NFL MVP in 2001, Kurt Warner, Hall of Famer Marshall Faulk, Hall of Fame left tackle Orlando Pace, Hall of Fame wide receiver Isaac Bruce, and should be Hall of Famer Torrey Holt. Like, the Rams were loaded. Or let me not forget Hall of Fame cornerback Aeneas Williams. Like, they had 6 Hall of Famers on that squad, the Rams did. Well, 5 current. Okay, like I said, Torrey Holt should be in the Hall of Fame, but 6 potential. Like, they were just loaded. The Patriots, looking back on it, they only had 2 or 3. Tom Brady, they had Ty Law, who was the cornerback, and then they had the kicker, Adam Vinatieri. All 3 of those guys are going to be in the Hall of Fame. Of course, Ty Law's in. Adam Vinatieri, whenever he retires, 5 years after that, he's going to get in. Of course, Brady's going to get in. But, yeah, they did that. 2002, they fell off. They missed the playoffs that year. 2003, they really saved Eloy Malloy. They get shut out, I believe, by the Bills in New England opening day. They go 14-2 the rest of that season with also adding Rodney Harrison, who was at the time one of the dirtiest players in the NFL. They go on and play the Panthers in the Super Bowl, which is probably one of the best Super Bowls ever played. My dad has it in his top 5 Super Bowls ever played. The Joe Montana video, I stated that the best Super Bowls, the best football games my dad's ever seen live was Super Bowl 42, Super Bowl 25, Super Bowl 23. He also put Super Bowl 38, Patriots against Panthers in there. I didn't see it, of course. I was a small baby because I was born in the early 2000s, but small babies, I didn't see a lot. But rewatching it on NFL Network, on NFL flashbacks, games, whatever, flashback games, I've seen it. It was a good game. But, of course, Brady went on to win Super Bowl MVP and in Super Bowl 36 and Super Bowl 38. Okay, they repeat. They go 14-2 in 04. They repeat. They upset. Of course, they beat Donovan McNabb, Terrell Owens, and the Eagles that year in the Super Bowl 24-21. Brady doesn't get the Super Bowl MVP. Wide receiver Deion Branch did, but of course, that created a New England Patriot dynasty. 3 Super Bowls in 4 years, and that's a great start to Brady's career. Of course, he had the legendary 2007 season, which the Patriots went undefeated, 16-0. Brady threw 50 touchdowns. Randy Moss had 23 touchdowns. And they would run up the score on bullying teams in that season. And then, of course, they ran to the New York Football Giants, who they beat in the regular season. Now, your close game, too. It was 34-38, or 35-38, in favor of New England. Of course, in the week leading up to that game, Plaxico Burress said, I believe that the Giants were going to beat the Patriots 21-17. And they told that Tom Brady, and he laughed out like, one's going to score 17 points. And then Michael Strahan, Justin Tuck, and Antonio Pierce whooped that man's ass. Put him on his ass. Okay, I'm sorry. This is the Giants fan in me coming out. But put him on his ass. Of course, he threw the late touchdown to Randy. Eli had probably the greatest play in the history of the Super Bowl, given the context and the circumstances around it, and the helmet catch. Okay, then he threw the Plaxico in the end zone, went up 17-14. The Giants upset New England. You obviously you see Brady here with the Super Bowl 42 logo on the left side of the shoulder pads, right side of the screen, but left side shoulder pads. But yeah, but of course the Patriots went through a Super Bowl drought from '04 to 2014. They had good records. Oh wait, Brady got hurt in the first game against Kansas City Chiefs. The safety Bernard Pollard blew out his knee, tore his ACL, missed that whole season. The Patriots still went 11-5, but they didn't make the playoffs that year. 2009, Brady comes back. I believe they went 11-5 or something. Then they got their asses whooped by the Baltimore Ravens in the wild card round. I remember watching that game. I think it was 33-14 in New England. Like I said, Patriots went through a dry spell. 2010, Brady was the MVP. They win the division. They get upset by Mark Sanchez, LaDainian Tomlinson, the Jets, who probably should. And the Jets, let me tell you something. I thought if the Jets had gone to the Super Bowl that year in 2010, or even the year before in '09, I think at least in 2010, I think they would have beat the Packers. Okay, Jets, people forget how great the Jets were, but you know what? I'm going to do a video on that later. Okay, because it's not a Jets video. But yeah, 2011, of course, they get back to the Super Bowl where they lost to the Giants again. sorry, I'm a Giants fan. Gotta let that out. But the Jets they lost to the Giants again. I think the score was, I'm trying to remember what the score was, 22-17 or something like that. It's some odd score like that because the Giants got a safety in that game, which scores 2 points. 2012 losing the championship game to the Ravens. 2013 lose to the Broncos. 2014 season they signed Darrelle Reeves in the offseason. Of course they have Gronk now in his prime. I think they went 12-4. They beat Baltimore in the divisional round, beat the Colts in the championship game, and of course they faced off against Seattle Seahawks, which is is one of the best Super Bowls football games I've ever seen. The best is always Super Bowl 42 to me, but that one, that Seahawks Patriots one, that's a close second. Okay, that was really a pick'em game. Both those squads were evenly matched. That was at the height of the Legion of Boom, man. Russell Wilson, Marshawn Lynch, Cam, Bam Bam Cam, Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas. That was all them in their prime. They were young too. I thought they were gonna go back to back. Of course, the Boston hater in me picked Seattle, but and that game honestly was kind of boring up until after halftime. At half it was 14-7. Of course, Katy Perry did the halftime show. Came back third quarter, but the fourth quarter is when shit got interesting. Of course, going into the fourth quarter, they were down by 10. The Patriots were 24-14. Brady hit Danny Amendola, make it 24-21. Hit Julian Edelman, make it 28-24. And of course, we all know what happened next. Here's Brady in the aftermath. I'm looking for the picture, but we all know what happened. Russell Wilson threw the ball on the goal line got picked off on the goal line by Malcolm Butler. Okay, here it is. Sorry, got the pictures all out of order. But yeah, obviously we know what happened. Of course, the play before that, Marshawn Lynch almost got into the end zone, but the Patriots middle linebacker Dante Hightower stopped him short. And let me say this: Skip Bayless often brings up Marshawn in that situation, on goal line situations. Beast mode was stopped 4 times out of 5 during that regular season. Look, is that fair? Is it fair? Yeah, you could say that's fair, but still, they should have given the ball to beast mode in that situation. Of course, let me say this: the Seattle Seahawks blame Russell Wilson, they blame Pete Carroll for that. But my thing is this: that y'all were up 24-10, y'all were up 24-14 going into that fourth quarter. Okay, y'all had a chance to. Y'all the Legion. Remember, this is 2014, man. This is the height of the Legion of Boom's defense, man. That Seahawks defense in 13 and 14, man, they were nasty. And you let Tom Brady. And, I know they like to use an excuse. Oh, we were all hurt. Sherm, I think was hurt. Cam was hurt. Earl Thomas was hurt. Cliff Averill, the DN, was hurt. No excuses. Y'all put on your pads. Y'all suited up and played that game, and y'all lost. Okay, no excuses. Stop trying to blame Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll. Was that a dumbass call? Absolutely. Could Russ have auto out of it? Sure. Okay, but y'all were up by 10 going to that fourth quarter, so stop putting all the blame on Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll. Okay, damn shame, but man, I had to get that off. I had to let that be known. But of course, the Patriots went on to win this game, 28-24, and he was Super Bowl MVP, his third or fourth Super Bowl. No, his third Super Bowl MVP, of course, at that point in his career, because he won in Super Bowl 36, Super Bowl 38. He was the MVP. And of course, we all know, remember this. The Atlanta Falcons, the rise up Atlanta Falcons that year. All the Atlanta celebrities were hyped that year. You know, T.I., Samuel L. Jackson, Ludacris, Gucci Mane, Quavo, all these guys with the room for the Falcons. Super Bowl's in Houston. I picked, of course, I said the New York hater, the New York fan in me picked Atlanta, and I was wrong. Completely wrong. They were up 28-3 going into the third quarter. 21-3 going to half, 23 going into the third quarter. And then Brady did his Brady magic. Okay? Cut the lead. He tied the game 28-28. And then, of course, in overtime, they tossed to LeGarrette Blount, I believe, or to James White, and got in. And the Patriots won in overtime 34-28. A 25-point comeback. You know, it was just amazing. It was amazing. The Falcons, you know, of course, they they should have ran the ball, but, you know, they didn't. They didn't because for whatever reason, and New England hang on to one. Tom Brady won his record-setting 5th Super Bowl title. You know, he tied Charles Haley. Charles Haley, for all you don't know, was a Hall of Fame defensive end for the 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys in the late 80s and 90s. He was on that 88, 89 49ers team and that 92, 93, and 95 Cowboys team. So he was the first player in the NFL to win 5 Super Bowls, and Tom Brady joined them. But of course, because Brady's a quarterback and Charles Haley was a defensive end, you know, Charles didn't get that much credit. But, you know, Brady did it as a quarterback. And, of course, we all know 2 years later, of course, in 2017, they got back to Super Bowl and lost to the Philadelphia Eagles. Credit to, you know, that was a tough Super Bowl for me because it said New York, native New Yorker, hate Philadelphia, hate Boston. But, you know, I picked New England in that game, and I was wrong again. Man, Brady's made me look stupid on so many occasions, man. But, yeah, of course, next year they got back to the Super Bowl. Of course, they beat the Chiefs in that championship game, which was a great game. You know, that dude lined up off sides, which cost the Chiefs the game. Patriots won the game in OT, got to the Super Bowl again, and won ugly, by the way. That was the most boring, ugliest Super Bowl I've ever seen. Okay, that Patriots-Rams Super Bowl, that was ugly, man. That was the ugliest Super Bowl I've ever seen played. But, yeah, Brady won. Of course, next year they lost to the Titans, I believe, in the wild card round. And now Brady's in Tampa Bay doing his thing. So, man, Tom Brady's an all-time great. He's a legend. 6-time Super Bowl champion, 4-time Super Bowl MVP, a 3-time league MVP, one of the most clutch quarterbacks of all time. And surefire first ballot Hall of Famer. Whether you love him or you hate him, you can't deny Tom Brady's rank as an all-time great NFL player. He's a top 3 quarterback in my opinion. Top 3 quarterback opinion. And like I said, he's the best player I've ever seen. I didn't see Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, or Lawrence Taylor, but Brady's the best football player I've ever seen, okay? And what y'all think of this video? Did you like it? Click that like button, subscribe, help a young brother go on YouTube. Comment down below. Who do you want to see next in the Greatest of All Time series? Do you want to see a Ray Lewis one, a Barry Sanders one, other athletes and other sports? You want to see one on Barry Bonds, Ken Griffey Jr.? You want to see one on I don't know, Tim Duncan, Michael Jordan, Kobe? You know, whoever you want to see. Comment down below. All right, I'm gonna see y'all.